resume. Under special skills, they had can sneeze on demand. I thought, well, that's a special skill, I guess.
Welcome to Casting Actors Cast, insights for actors on acting in the business of show. Casting director Jeffrey Dreisbach takes you behind the scenes and reveals secrets to a successful acting career. You can find out more on the web at castingactorscast.com. Please enjoy, like, and share Casting Actors Cast. Now, here's your host, Jeffrey Dreisbach.
Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Casting Actors Cast. How are you? I'm Jeffrey Dreisbach. I'm a casting director with McCorkle Casting in New York. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. I hope you're having a good day. I'm really excited to be sharing some answers to the questions that you've been having over the past several weeks. I've been receiving some really nice feedback, and many folks have gone to castingactorscast.com, and there's a place where you can fill out a comment form, and that's where you can ask a question if you like, and you simply click that form. And by the way, if you do that, you're also given the opportunity to download a free, yes, I did say free, PDF book. The book is called Conversation Pieces Out of the Studio, the voiceover workshop for professional actors. It's a 100-page book about what it is to be an actor in voiceover work. I have got many people have downloaded this book, and I'm really, really excited. So we're answering your questions today on Casting Actors Cast. This is that moment in the podcast where I want to just share my extreme thanks and appreciation for those of you who have been tuning in, for those of you who are regular listeners, or if you're a new listener. It's a real thrill for me to be able to do these podcasts and hopefully help a few of you out there. If you're an actor and you really want some support and some help and some advice, then you've come to the right place, because, you know, advice is free. And so is the podcast. So please join your other actor friends. Tell them about Casting Actors Cast and go to the website, castingactorscast.com. You'll see some previous episodes. I've been taking an inventory of the colleges and universities that I have been going to, both solo and many times I go with Pat. The list is just kind of incredible. And a big shout out to our friends at Penn State University. Thank you so much for hosting us. We had a really wonderful time. The work is really great. The BFA training program is quite exceptional. It's a beautiful campus, and a really significant imprint is being made by this fantastic BFA training program at Penn State University. So I couldn't be more thrilled to have been invited, and Pat and I really enjoyed ourselves. So thank you very, very much to Penn State University. Sorry about that little background hum if you heard it. My air conditioning just kind of popped on without me remembering to turn it off, and it kind of sounds like a 57 Chevy. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, so a significant list of places that I have been this season in the new year: Northern Illinois University, Rutgers University, Southern Methodist University, Washington State University, Indiana U, Penn State University, Rowan College is coming up, University of Connecticut. I'm finishing up a workshop there next week. And then, of course, there are a lot of university showcases coming to New York. Most recently, I've worked with the Northern Virginia State University and Montclair State University students. They're doing really awesome work as well. I thought it would be a great moment for us to answer some of those questions that actually these students have been asking me and Pat over the times that we've been visiting these places. They come up with similar questions, and I thought, wow, you know what? A lot of people are having the same questions, so let's reiterate some of these answers, and let's go ahead and look at some of the questions that I've been getting on the website Again, if you go to castingactorscast.com, you'll see that there's a place where you can leave a comment. I encourage you, please, if there's any question about the business whatsoever that I can be of any help to you, I would love to be able to answer. And that way, your question can be helpful to the rest of the community of actors that's out there. And it's really true. No two programs are alike. And no two programs have the exact same kind of training. They all have a kind of a different philosophy. I think that that's really interesting. I think that that's really exciting because I don't think there's any one answer. And that leads me to my point. There's really no one answer to all of these questions that we're going to be dealing with today. And I want you to keep that in mind. These are just based on my own personal experience, and you might have some other ideas, and I'd love to share those ideas. So please let me know if I'm missing the boat on any of these questions. Have you had some experiences that you might want to share just in terms of, helping out your fellow actors with some of the questions that I'm about to discuss with you today? Please treat this like a community. Let's help each other. And that way, we can not only answer questions, but we can feel more confident about our work. And to me, that's, the best thing ever. It's just to kind of do the kumbaya thing a little bit and reassure each other, because I continue to believe that this is an excellent time to be an actor, and this is an excellent time for you to consider jumping in and participating. So that's the way I feel about it. We've got a lot of really fantastic shows coming up that we're casting. First of all, we just met with a producer, and I'm afraid I can't really talk about the 3 films that they're asking us about. And we're excited because that means that we'll have a summer of doing some feature film work. So that will be a lot of fun. We've wrapped up Barrington Stage, which is a monumental task, summer theater that's won all kinds of awards and is doing really excellent work. So we're really happy that seems to have wrapped up really well. Also, Contemporary American Theater Festival, CATF, they do such original and creative, interesting work. Ed Herendine is heading up that program and has for many years, and we've been casting him for many years. And it looks like we've got a really exceptional cast. They do 4 productions. Sometimes they'll rotate. It's like a rotating repertory situation. So you might be playing the lead one night, and then the next night you might be playing a supporting character. But it's just amazing because these are new plays and new playwrights. CATF actually commissioned Michael Weller to write a piece, and so there'll be a new Michael Weller play that's being seen at CATF. So if you have a chance to get down there, that would probably be great. Plus, Barrington Stage up in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. So if you're in the Northeast, put it on your summer to-do list, will you? Because if you're traveling and kind of want to see some theater, no better place than Barrington Stage Company. There's a lot of really nice theaters up in that area, but Barrington Stage is something we've been working on, and Pat has been casting for over 20 years, and that seems to be really kind of a cool thing to do. So let's jump into some of these questions. The first question that I received that I really wanted to take a minute to answer is Indiana University, where a student said, I've applied and have been accepted to some grad schools, and I don't know if I should go or not, or whether or not, armed with my BFA degree, should I go right to one of the major cities where there's stuff going on. For example, this actor was considering New York, Atlanta, Chicago, Los Angeles. They were even thinking about Minneapolis, Minnesota, because of the work being done at the Guthrie. And so the actor was really in a quandary, like, I've been accepted to a grad school. Should I take that time? And it happened to be a 3-year program. And the good news is that it would be paid for by the university because you would be teaching some undergraduate classes in theater and acting. Whether or not that 3-year period of time would make it more difficult or challenging for you to come to some of those major markets after you're done with your master's degree, and would that hinder or help you in an actual acting career? That's a great question. And you can see why there are so many variables to the answer. Only because if you are, for example, if you are somebody who is perceived or looks quite young, maybe younger than your own age, maybe going right into the profession would be a really great thing for you to do. Only because if you're spending 3 more years, that's 3 more years out of the profession. Only because you're sort of back into a proverbial bubble when you're training in a master's program. So that's something that's difficult to consider. The other options are, do you have the support to be able to go into a major market and be an actor? What kind of a job would you have in order to sustain yourself financially while you're starting your acting career? So that's a big one. Maybe you're kind of thinking that your parents would be really, really supportive of you more, even if you did get a master's degree, because then there's always some teaching opportunities that might be ahead of you. And many, many, many actors decide that they enjoy the environment at a university and then want to jump into some teaching opportunities. I think that that's also quite valid. So you can see all of these questions are open, but I think it has to do more with your marketability. And that means, are you and have you come into your own in terms of the way you look, your energy, how your presence is being looked at now? Because if you think that this is something that you could be doing a TV series right away, then why would you wait? Why would you want to wait if this is something that you've always wanted to do? Is that just prolonging something which would make you probably, or perhaps, make you more frustrated by going into an MFA degree program? So I can understand and appreciate the challenge. I guess the answer is such an individual thing, really based on how you feel about your readiness, based on 2 things. Your own emotional sensibilities, but also what's going on in the industry. If you're interested in doing film and television, what 3 films and 3 television series are shooting right now that you know that you would be right for, based on the training that you've had in your BFA program? I know that a lot of BFA programs are really excellent at foundational work and excellent training, but maybe they are lacking in film and television experience. Maybe there's just not quite enough to warrant you jumping in to a film and television career because you haven't had enough training in that. That's something to think about. If you think, gosh, well, okay, I haven't had that much training in film and television, but what I will do, I'm going to go to Los Angeles and I'm going to enroll in some film and television training classes. Now, that's a great idea. That might be the kind of supplement you need to get yourself feeling good and ready for a television career. Again, I'm not trying to hedge the question, but you can see that I'm thinking about all of these variables, that one choice is not right for everyone. It's such an individual choice. Would you benefit from more university training in a setting that is a little bit more protected, where you can do exceptionally good work? Is that more beneficial than you deciding to jump in with both feet and become a professional actor in one of the major markets? Since we're talking about major markets, let's talk about minor markets. Perhaps you're an actor in a small environment. Maybe you're in a smaller location. What opportunities are there for you? And that is an excellent question as well. Maybe you're getting some pressure from home if you've just kind of finished university, or you have some time left at university training. Maybe jumping into a summer theater and then going back to school. Maybe those kinds of opportunities are there for you. But oftentimes I find that the actors are told that, gosh, it would really be great for you to come back home and maybe just work for the summer to earn some money. And that leaves you out of the running for maybe some acting opportunities. What I would encourage you to do is to really research what might be available where you are that can help you in your acting career. Because I know that there are all kinds of dance, of summer theaters, even community theater productions taking place over the summer. Getting involved is probably the best thing you can do for yourself. So do that job that can earn you some money over the summer. But, you're young and you've got the energy, for God's sake. Check out those kinds of opportunities. And if there aren't any opportunities, why don't you make some? Why don't you get together with some like-minded people in your small community and come up with a plan to either do a reading performance, maybe reading a play, maybe a staged reading of a new play. There's all kinds of things that you can do to get yourself involved and keep yourself feeling sharp and connected. So I have in front of me a communication that I received from the contact form message place on the website, castingactorscast.com, and I won't use their full name, but I got this really nice note from Sean, and I want to thank you very much, Sean, for sending this. He says, thanks so much for your insightful and positive outlook on this industry. It's always been nice to have a weekly reminder that casting professionals are not only on your side, but artists in their own right. Keep up the good work. Gosh, Sean, thank you so much. That means the world to me that you would actually recognize that we're all in this kind of creative environment together and that we're on your side. And the more empathy you have for what we do and the more understanding I have for what you do, I only think makes for a better creative environment. So thanks so much, Sean. Here's another one. This is from a gentleman named Sam. I won't go through the whole message, but he says, I was wondering if you could help me find a voice acting job, even though you never heard me sneeze before. I have the deepest sneeze. And my dream is to do sneeze overs to TV commercials or anything that has a sneeze over. Oh my gosh. Very specific, Sam. Somebody who's perfected their ability to sneeze. Well, you know what? This world is becoming more and more specialized. I'm sure that there may be some sneeze opportunities there for you. I'm at a loss, though, to say, how would you put a demo of that together? It's like 1 minute of sneezes. And here's my intellectual sneeze. And here is my mechanic sneeze. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. So, Sam, listen, I appreciate it. It's a specialty world out there. So you might want to figure out how you're going to market the sneeze and then get it out to people. And listen, I'll be more than welcome to listen to your sneeze demo. Okay, that made my day. Really did. Okay, so let's go on to another message. And I really appreciate this nice complimentary note from Nina, who's from another country. And I won't use your last name, Nina, but she has talked a little bit about her background, but she comes down to the question and she says, my question for you is this: are there agencies in New York City or Brooklyn that are specialized in foreigners? So Nina is from another country, and she's had some success in that other country, and now here she is in the United States. She came here to learn to speak better English, only because that meant there were more opportunities for her. But the answer to her question is really interesting. And the second part of that is to you, how can I find or access information about real agencies to work with? And that's another important question. So I appreciate these questions very much. Here are my answers. Number one, I do not know of any agency that specializes in people from another country, because there are a couple of reasons for that. One of them is almost all agencies have talent that is bilingual. It's a matter of seeking out an agency that would really appreciate the fact that you speak another language. Plus, and I don't, have to kind of beat this with a big drum here, but there are very, very delicate issues surrounding people from other countries now working here in the United States. And I don't mean to make this political at all. I'm just saying that that is another reason why you won't see somebody specializing in that. If you are able to work in the United States, then simply check out agencies in general. Check out agencies that are appropriate to the kind of work that you're looking for. And that brings us to the second part of her question, which is this: how do you find out about what agents are doing what and whether they're not creepy, whether they're, legitimate agents? How do you find that out? Well, this is an important thing, and I've mentioned this in previous podcasts, but let me just reiterate this, that legitimate agencies are what's called franchised by the unions, SAG-AFTRA and Actors Equity Association. That means that they abide by rules and regulations set forth by the union. They also have union approved contracts. So if the talent is going to sign with an agent, for example, that this would be a SAG-AFTRA approved contract for the agent to represent the talent. So that's the very most important first question is this particular agency franchised by the union? Now, I'm not talking about managers, because managers can just put up a shingle and decide that they're representing talent. You don't need any kind of union approval, and that's why many times there are some managers out there that are a little unscrupulous because they're not really acting as managers. They're really acting as providing products and services. Like, if you get new pictures through my agency, and frankly, they're despicable. They're rip-offs, and run away as quickly as possible to anyone who calls themselves a manager but is asking you to pay for anything. You should not be messing with somebody who's asking you to pony up some funds to help get your career started. That's just totally wrong. There are many, many good managers out there as well. The question to ask any manager is, what agencies do you work with? Only because legally, any SAG-AFTRA or equity contract has to be negotiated through an agent. So the manager has to go through an agent for that particular job, whether it's film, television, or theater. So a good question for a manager is, what agencies do you work with? And those agencies that they work with would probably be franchised by the unions, and that makes this a legitimate organization. Now, how do you find out about this? Well, you know what? It's like the famous cool thing called the internet. And you could simply Google in agents in your area, New York talent agents or franchised agents in New York, and you'll come up with an entire list. I did an entire thing about agents, so just know the differences between those boutique agents, those mid-size agencies, and those behemoth agencies. There's a really important distinction between the three of them based on their size. And each one has a legitimate purpose, but might not be worth your time to, for example, go into a huge behemoth agency. Many times actors entering the profession will go to a small or medium-sized agency. That's just because those agents are a little more open and interested in working with newer, younger talent. So that's something at least to consider. Finally, I didn't want to imply that you have to be a member of the union in order to work with these agencies. That's not true. You do not have to be a member of the union to work with these franchised agents. I hope that makes sense. I hope that this has been helpful to you. Thank you so much. Please, please, please keep those questions coming in. Go to Casting Actors Cast, fill out the message form that's on the website, and I look forward to hearing back from you. Please send me a question. This is Casting Actors Cast, and I'm Jeffrey Dreisbach. Have a fantastic day. Thanks.
You've been listening to Casting Actors Cast with host Jeffrey Dreisbach. Find out more at castingactorscast.com and let us know if you would like us to cover topics you're interested in. Thanks for listening. I'm Matthew DeSarno.